Monday morning, and we're here in a city called Valparaiso, where we traveled to yesterday, and where we met up with Pastor Charlie, who I'd worked with actually last year. He translated for me for a podcast interview, and we came to his house and had some fellowship, and then I spoke at his church last night, First Baptist Church here in Valparaiso, and we had a great service, a great body of believers. I spoke just about a message about making sure that we don't get distracted from the Lord and that we don't have sin in our lives. I shared my testimony, and at the end we had a chance for people to pray and seek the Lord, and I invited people, if they had a need in their life, that they could come forward and for prayer, and quite a few people came up, and so I had a chance to minister to each one of them, to ask what they needed. Actually, quite a few of them needed physical healing for different issues in their life. There were a few men actually that came up, and you could tell they were burdened. They said, I just want more of God. I want more of my spiritual life to grow. And so Pastor Charlie said one of those men in particular, he's been really praying for and has not really been that engaged. And he said for him to come up, and he was crying when we were praying for him. He said it looked like it was a very significant impact on his life. And so just ministered to the body. We were praying pretty late into the service, and we're just really grateful for how the Lord stirred up the church, and just believe that'll be a lasting impact. Today we're going to be connecting with Pastor Ayrton, who is kind of our main contact here. He oversees a biblical counseling network. He pastors a church. I've spoken at a couple times, and also oversees Pure Life. And so I'm looking forward to connecting with him. I always love spending time with him. And then later on tonight, we're going to go back to Pastor Charlie's church. We're going to be part of a men's meeting. And we're going to just have a chance to minister to men. And then tomorrow we will head to the city of Caldas Novas, about a probably 3.5 to 4 hour drive, where we'll be ministering for 2 nights and reconnecting with that church. And so I'm just so blessed to see what God's doing. Nate shared yesterday that the church, we split to 2 different places, and so he spoke at another church, and he said it was an amazing service there as well. And so we're just grateful for the opportunities that are opening up, the doors that we're able to minister the gospel and see people's lives touched and changed.
But they would lie, and for years nothing would get better.
E por anos nada melhorava.
Things would only get worse.
Coisas somente pioravam.
And for many people, the only thing that made them confess
Para muitas pessoas, a única coisa que os fez confessar
was the fact that they got caught.
foi o fato que descobriram.
And when things come out, when we're not willing to tell someone about the things we're dealing with,
Quando nós não estamos dispostos a falar para alguém das coisas que nós estamos lidando com elas,
many times God in His mercy will expose us.
muitas vezes Deus, na sua misericórdia, vai nos expor.
So it's Monday night, and we're back at the First Baptist Church in Valparaiso for a men's meeting tonight. In the building right behind me, we have a group of about 30 guys that have come together, some teenagers and then some adult males. And Nate is sharing with them right now. He just got done sharing his testimony of what God did in his life, and his journey through to going through Pure Life Ministries. And then also now he's sharing some principles, practical things that men need to know to walk in purity in the days that we live in. And so it's been a great meeting so far. Earlier today, we went to Taquatinga and had a great time with Pastor Ayrton and his family and some of the leadership of Pure Life Brazil. And he shared an amazing testimony with me that I did not know. If you don't know, last year when I came, Pure Life Brazil had, I donated the rights to Pile of Masks, and they translated that book into Portuguese and printed a bunch of copies and began to sell them to make money for Pure Life. And so we were sitting around the table, and he said, I wanted to let you know. He said, in our church, we have a mandatory Wednesday night Bible study for all the members. They have to go to this meeting. And he said, recently we actually required everyone to go through the book Pile of Masks. And he said, while we went through it, he said, there's a bunch of testimonies of people who open up their hearts and confess things in their lives, of things that they needed to get out in the open. And he was just thanking me, saying that book really made an impact in his church. And so that was an amazing thing, very encouraging. And it's awesome to hear how God is using the materials that we've been able to put together through Make Way Ministries to touch lives here in Brazil, even though we didn't even know that was happening. And so after this meeting, we're going to head back to Pastor Charlie's house. It's been great to have fellowship with him and his wife, and to hear what God's doing through the church. Some amazing stories. In the morning, pretty early, we're going to head out to Caldas Novas for our meetings there. And I'm just really anticipating being back at that church. I've been there every time I've come, and so it'll be great to see them again. And I believe God's going to move in a special way tomorrow night in the service.